The picture I took of you the first time I ever came here. You were so young and happy.
Where do the years go?
For most of life, things can't last forever, right? Or can we at least change the future before we succumb to this inevitable fact that has plagued humankind since the dawn of time? I mean, this battle for changing the future has been fought since the beginning of time. Take this quote from William Shakespeare: "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players." To understand this quote, picture it as this. Just as an actor in a play enter the stage to perform their respective roles, men and women take birth in this world, and then having performed their roles through various stages, meet death. But we won't be going so far as talking about the ending, but merely the mid stages, or to put it simply, how to avoid mistakes in your life, such as being obsessive over the smallest things in life, leading you to an endless void of mistakes, or second guessing every single move you make at every thought you have, never moving your feet as the weight of the negativity you hold on to keep you complacent. It just so happens that my theory on Season 3, Episode 11, Party Pooper Pants, explains most of the answers we need to not succumb to this madness and monotony. We start the episode with Patchy the Pirate greeting us at the front door. He asks if Spongebob was with us on the way here, but it goes into a joke on how the paper got soaked on the way down, and in doing so they couldn't read it, throwing it into a fire pit. We head back to Patchy's party and we meet all of the guests. The guests really don't matter, and the party as well. So we move along until Patchy offers us a new cartoon episode of when Spongebob was planning a party. We nod our head yes, and we start watching the real episode. The scene starts off with a grand view of the bargain mall. We see Spongebob zoom by trying to speedrun shopping. He gets a new world record and, well, let's just say he goes off on a tangent again.
That's great, Spongebob. 142. Okay, so it's $1.42.
Sign here.
As Louie begrudgingly signs the book, we get the most darkest scene in SpongeBob history.
It's a picture I took of you the first time I ever came here. Look at you, so young and happy. Where do the years go?
For many of you who don't know, this scene depicts a lot of people's lives throughout history. People who are complacent. Being complacent or comfortable can easily fool anyone in their mid stages of life. It means to show smug or uncritical satisfaction with oneself or one's achievements. To get a better understanding, let's start analyzing how dark this scene really is. When SpongeBob starts talking to Louie about getting a new world record, we can already tell he's upset, annoyed, and rushing SpongeBob to move along from the tone of his voice. I can understand having that one customer be really annoying, or just having a bad day could be a lot to deal with, but it seems to be unfair to be upset at someone else's happiness, unless you're unhappy yourself, which I think we can all say Louie isn't doing great these days. To help the perspective, let's say Louie was running a good balloon business. It was his dream to have a company selling balloons to everyone around the world, until one day he decided to have an event for free balloons to boost his popularity. This one single idea handily made him lose so much money he went into debt and had to quit selling balloons. He started working at the bargain mall, but slowly and surely he quit trying to achieve his dream for the rest of his life, leaving him to be complacent or too comfortable going back to his dream, working at the bargain mall forever. Being too comfortable or too complacent is bad either way, because you want to have something to achieve in your life until you get to the ending stages. But let's continue analyzing. We see SpongeBob finding a picture of Louie when he first started working there. stating, "Look at you, so young and happy, where does the years go?" lowering the picture down to see present-day Louie. I say that this is the darkest scene because SpongeBob watched a man's life slowly wither away as he doesn't understand what it really means to be trapped at a dead-end job or to lose hope in one dream. This is the most realistic character to date in SpongeBob history, and it's kinda scary because that can become your reality in a blink of an eye. Now that we pointed out what it looks like to be complacent or too comfortable, how do we stop it from happening? With education. Whatever type of job you want to have, you must at least have some level of education. It could be very minuscule or very vast with knowledge. Whatever the case may be, you must have an understanding of this said job. And a lot of people tend to give up before even trying because of how daunting it could be. And then there's some people who just don't get the chance to have success. Also, just another word for education is learning. Take for instance any YouTube video with the word tutorial. You learn from the video and you may be able to do your job without going through an education system. But that being said, how do you really focus on what to do and how to do it? That brings us to planning. You must evaluate what you can do and how much you can do in said plan. The plan can be very detailed and drawn out, or it can be simple and to the point. But never make a plan that isn't coherent. No matter how many times you follow a plan that is big or small, it needs to make sense. If you're sloppy or not motivated to make one, then the plan can make the outcome worse than having no plan at all. But that being said as well, there is a downside to making one, and later on we'll be discussing how dangerous it can be. But for now, having a plan won't always predict the future. This leads to some people trying to make it perfect to the point and over detailing it, trying to control something that they can't. Even the best of people can get caught up in this, and the only way to stop this from happening is a healthy mind. No matter how strong one can be, their mind must be stable, fortified, and sound to get across any hurdles in life. There are a lot of different ways to have a healthy mindset, but the most common one is meditation. No matter what you say or do, meditation will give you a state of mind that will let you think and reflect what you can do in any situation. But sometimes people don't get to this step. Some people just don't get to any of these steps I even mentioned. We all look at what we have in front of us and we deal with our hands. But if you do have the chance and you're not doing anything, don't waste your time now. Start now whatever you want to do. Either that is trying to get a job or trying to have a healthier mind, or you're just wanting to know what you're going to do next. If you don't start now, you'll just end up like Louie, forever missing out on your dreams. To have everything make sense, let's do a little summary. Louie didn't do his learning and found out the hard way of selling free balloons. He also didn't plan for what would happen next and just decided to work at the bargain mall with no goal in mind, with Louie slowly losing a healthy mindset to continue his balloon business, having him stuck forever in a mall. To be honest, everyone will say that SpongeBob is the exact opposite of Squidward. But looking at this very scene, I would say that Louie is more of a foil to SpongeBob than Squidward has ever been in this 3-minute interaction. I can't believe how deep this one scene can get. It looks like that this episode is proving my theory right on how it's trying to warn everyone on how to avoid succumbing to these distractions in life. But I don't think we have enough evidence yet. So let's move on with the episode. SpongeBob spots a new item called Play in Your Party Kit and asks for how much. Louie sees the opportunity to get him out the store, so he gives it to him for free in exchange for leaving. So in doing so, he leaves the store and we see Spongebob next to Gary, reading the kit. At first, it seems like it's a nothing burger. But if we read more into this scene, it gets pretty dark. We can't analyze it just yet, so let's continue. He invites everyone that he knows, even people he doesn't talk to anymore. Then he makes some food and decides to do his own thing when it comes to making the panini. This is a good sign, but still a little worrying. We get the most disturbing part of this scene. Spongebob reads in the party kit if the parties are unsupervised, it can get out of hand. So he starts to read off a list of activities that each and every second the party will do. And you might be thinking that what he's doing is funny, but it's very serious. And it's a problem that most people encounter when trying to have a healthy mindset and planning. Anticipatory anxiety. I don't know how to describe this feeling, but it feels like when you don't know what's going to happen in the future, and you try to do everything in your power to do every single option you have, with the utmost stress and tension in the smallest time frame you have. Like you're almost gonna lose everything around you. Anticipatory anxiety is when you're worried about the future. The fear that bad things might happen, or that you might become unable to successfully accomplish what you set out to do. Now, in this clip, Spongebob is going to extreme measures just to make sure there aren't mistakes or flaws in the party, when we all know that's not how you live life. You need to make mistakes in order to learn and better yourself. Spongebob is so worried, so afraid, and utterly terrified that the party might go bad that he makes time marks for each event, which is unhealthy and obsessive. This type of behavior can only lead to one thing: a downfall. You start to doubt your every move and only think of the worst things when you try to do anything positive. For instance, let's say your favorite toy broke. You could try fixing it or even get a new one, but you think of the worst. If I try to fix this, if I get a new one, leading you to never get a new toy and possibly never fixing it.
Doesn't this sound familiar? This can affect
The people around you too. When you question your every little move with negative thoughts, it can put people off, or worse, you start distancing yourself from them. We're not done yet, because once we get back to the episode, Spongebob is waiting at the door for guests. It hits 8 o'clock, no guests yet. 10 seconds past 8 o'clock, still no guests. It hits 20, then 30. Spongebob starts to cry on the ground, all because no one came when it hit 8 o'clock. Do you see Gary's face right now? That's literally me. For the amount of times that this happened to me or to anyone around me, it kinda gets funny. We tend to forget because our judgment is clouded up by overthinking or, anticipatory anxiety. Anything could happen when guests don't show up on time. It could be due to traffic, getting lost, or just altogether canceling going to the party. But these unrealistic expectations are all due to fear and of what would happen in the future, trying to control something you can't. As someone rings the doorbell, Spongebob says they're here and only 40 seconds late, still having that unwavering obsession to be perfect. He even wants the guests to be perfect, saying, "Can I compliment you on being late?" Which, like I said, could drive people away from you. If this was done to me in real life, I would have walked back out on this party. This keeps going on as he tries to control the party, making it boring with each and every event. But something good happens. He walks outside to get newspaper to read off of, and as soon as he gets outside, boom, he gets locked out of his own house. This is where we learn that we should let nature's order flow. The best thing to do when it comes to making plans is to go with the flow. The plan can't always be right about everything, no matter what. Things happen and mistakes occur, and that's why we go along with the mistakes and make better choices, or do better in the future. SpongeBob getting locked out of his own house was the best thing that could ever happen to him. To put it into perspective, let's give each subject a label. The party is the future. You don't know what's gonna happen, but it's fun to work towards and making a better one. SpongeBob is you, or us, just day-to-day people. As SpongeBob looks into the window, he wants to control the future and everything about it. Seeing mistakes and errors he wants to fix at every little corner, but can't do anything because he's locked outside. Sure, we could stay at this very window and think of all the things we could have changed before anything started, but that won't help anyone. By the next day, he gets back to his home being a wreck, leaving him to be utterly destroyed by the situation. But not everything is doom and gloom. Sure, the house is a wreck, and that's a mistake, but the party was amazing. As Patrick said, he had a blast, and it was the best thing to ever happen. This could be a way of saying that plans are positive and negative. Without a doubt, SpongeBob did something amazing in the plan, while also having some downsides, like how his house is being in a wreck. You can't predict everything. You can't know that everything will go the way you plan out. But just know for sure that you got this. You might not be able to control the future, but you have the power of controlling what you can do next. Are you gonna sit here at this very phone or computer screen and not work towards anything you want to do in life?
Oh hey, I didn't see you standing there, and why are you in my room? I just got done editing this chunky video, and you might be wondering, why am I talking to you right now? Well, one thing's first, I need you to help me out. I have to feed my Goomba. He's really hungry, and I don't want him to go starving. So would you please go to my new Patreon and subscribe with $1? I will be putting new content almost every day. Something about me, or art, or just scrapped projects all in one. And it's only $1. But hey, if you can't give me $1, just make sure you share the video, like, and comment down below. Thank you for watching my SpongeBob theory. I put a lot of work into it, and I'm just trying to inspire people each day and to feed my Goomba because he's hungry. He hasn't eaten. So, if you want to help me, just make sure you support me as any way as you can. The next video is actually going to be about that guy over there, the little Marvel, the Spider-Verse or whatever. Yeah, that's going to be the next video. It's going to be a review and a theory, and I'll also be doing some live streams here and there. So, if you want to support me, come see me on my live. Hey, maybe even donate, huh? I'm actually trying to wink to you right now, but I have glasses on. Anyway, thank you for supporting me. It means a lot. I guess this is an intro. You could, I guess I could, put my music here. I could put my outro music here. And, yeah. Do you like my Goomba? He's pretty cool. Bye.